Well, hello. Welcome to EDUT 605. You've made it past 580. Congratulations. It's time for 605. Should we talk about what it is? Talk about what it is not? Should we talk about the dramatic background or the lighting? I'm in Philadelphia. I've been at the NAIS annual conference, National Association of Independent Schools. This is Philadelphia. You want to Philadelphia. So hence the random backdrop. So I've gotten a few questions already throughout 580. Some of your friends, some of your colleagues, some of your former classmates have taken 580 and 605, and the last year has changed. It's actually much more streamlined. The biggest thing is that you don't need IRB approval. If you don't know what that is, then great. That was most of 580 in the past. But the thing, and I've notes kind of here on my laptop, so I'm going to kind of look at it kind of back and forth. If you're like, why is he looking down? That is why. I don't have all of this memorized. In the past, this was a group project. This is not. In the past, it was an action research project. Now it is not. So the idea is that the project is exploratory in nature. So it has more about self-reflection, more about literature. The idea is to gain better understanding about the problem and then potential solutions. So it's not an intervention, there's not library publication, there's not an oral presentation where we're gonna get together like synchronously and have you hop on a call and do that. So because of all of those things, you no longer need to gain IRB approval, which is what you would do if it was going to be like your doctoral thesis and that review. And so this makes it a bit more manageable. Most of 580 is focusing on chapters 1 and 3. This 605, welcome, you're going to be focusing on 2 and 4. So the very, very end of the course, and like I'm going to give you the play-by-play each week, but just to kind of frame up all the things, we're calling the oral presentations a thing that happens in the discussion board. So I'll walk you through that as we go. In the past, there have been synchronous sessions, and we're not going to do that. The way it was described to me is the oral presentations are snippets of your project. So that's what that was. So you've already done in 580 the library research review assignment. You did chapter 1. You did your annotated bibliography. That's going to be chapter 2. You've done chapter 3. And then the proposal finally, right? So 605, you're going to do a peer review of chapter 2. That's going to be your first assignment, and that is all the way actually at week 4. So it's going to be a similar thing where you submit it to discussion board, download it, track changes in Word, and then resubmit it. You're going to do a peer review of that in week 4, submit chapter 2, the literature review in week 5. You're going to be looking at chapter 4 and the appendices. Chapter 4 is your reflective findings, right? So looking at connection to the lit review, giving citations, including your reflective journal, the conclusions you make about the problem, conclusions about your research questions, suggestions for future educators if they wanted to pick up your capstone project and run with it for like a full like thesis level caliber like amount of work. What would you be doing with it? And that's 605 in a nutshell. I did not have a cheesesteak, by the way. This whole time you spent 4 minutes, you're like, this is great, Bill, like we can read Blackboard. The real question is, did you eat a cheesesteak? I did not. My flight is 6 a.m. tomorrow, but I did get a roast pork sandwich with provolone and broccoli, and it was fantastic. Denix, I'm telling you, Reading Terminal, right by the conference center. I also had a presentation today. It was about kind of the habits that we have as educators. I called it Invisible Habits. Isn't that a cool title? I think it was. Looking at just kind of the assumptions we make about what we can and can't do in schools, what we should or shouldn't do, and just kind of looking at what really is a must do in a school, and what are some of the rules that are actually just assumptions It was cool. It was called a Pechacucha. It's also pronounced Pichacucha. It's also pronounced Pachakacha. It is a 20 slide timed presentation. Every 20 seconds, the slides auto advance. It's intense. So 7 was presented in an hour. I was given 6 minutes, 40 seconds, and it went really well. It was really, really good. So yay for that. I will be back in California Saturday. So depending on when you're watching this, which will probably be Sunday, I'm already back in California. So welcome to 605. It's good to have everybody together, new course, and yay.